Good morning. Today we are starting our next unit. Today we're starting with perimeter and area of rectangles and squares. So you can see that we are going to be working with those shapes. Now we're starting to work with perimeter, area, and volume, really figuring out how to work with all of these geometric shapes. So we are starting with the perimeter. So hopefully this isn't brand new information as we're starting this unit, but we will be building off of it as we go. Our perimeter is the distance around a figure. So I always think of my backyard and how we have a fence going around it. So the fence around the yard would be the perimeter of the yard. Area is the number of square units needed to cover a figure. So that's everything on the inside. So if I need to put grass in my yard, so the area would be how much grass I need to cover all the area inside of the fence. The fence goes around the yard, that's the perimeter. Putting the grass in, if I'm laying down sod, I need to know how much inside. So everything that would cover inside the yard. A rectangle is a figure with 4 straight sides and 4 right corners. So it's not just any quadrilateral, any 4-sided figures. They have to have 4 right corners. So any figure that has 4 straight sides and 4 right corners. When we think of a rectangle, we usually think 2 short and 2 long sides, but it doesn't matter if their sides are short or long or all the same as long as we have 4 right corners. A square is a figure with 4 equal straight sides and 4 right corners. So a square is also a rectangle. A square is one type of rectangle because it has 4 sides and 4 right angles, but in order to be a square, all 4 sides have to be equal. So a square is always a rectangle, but a rectangle is only sometimes a square. A rectangle could be short and long sides, or it could be all the same size. If they're all the same size, they are a square. So again, square is always a type of rectangle, but a rectangle does not need to be a square. So there is a formula for the perimeter of a rectangle and a square. We add the length plus the length plus the width plus the width. To find the area of a rectangle or square, we know it is length times width. So we want to use this information to find perimeter and area of some rectangles and squares. So I am going to erase and move this up to see what we are doing today. So we need to calculate the perimeter and area of each figure. Use an array to prove the area you found. So an array is when we fill in the inside of our rectangle and square. So if it is 4 yards for our width, I'm going to draw 4 rows. So then for my length, I've got 7 yards, so I need to draw 7 rows. So I can see to cover all of this, I have all of those squares. So I could count up how many squares there are. Or actually, let's use this one first to find the perimeter. So I'm going to count on the outside. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. So I can find the perimeter by drawing my arrays and counting how many sections of line there are going around it, or I could add them up and I could say 7 plus 4 plus 7 plus 4. So I have 7 plus 4 is 11, plus 4 is 18, plus 4 is 22. And I get 22 yards either way for the perimeter. Now I need to find the area. So the perimeters are on the outside. The area is counting up all the squares on the inside. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28. There are 28 equal squares on the inside. So we can find that by making our array, or we can use our formula to find the area, which was length times width. So length of 7 times my width of 4, 7 times 4 gives me that 28 yards. So obviously using the formula is going to be a lot easier and quicker than doing the arrays. But the arrays show us how it works. So we understand why doing length plus width gets us the perimeter, and why the area length times width gets us that area. So let's do the same thing with our square. If I have a side of 3, I need to draw 3 columns. Another side of 3, I'm going to draw 3 columns. So to find that perimeter, I'm going to count the outside. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So there were 12 equal sections going around. I also know I could do 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3. Side plus side plus side plus side. And that gets me 12. So either way, I get 12 for my perimeter. My area, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 squares on the inside. I could also do length times width, which is 3 times 3, which gets me that same 9. So we need to be able to understand what perimeter means and understand what the area means. We need to be able to use those formulas so it goes a lot quicker and easier for you. If you need to do the array to double check to make sure you did it correctly, that is totally fine. So your work for today is calculating the perimeter and area of the rectangle or square. So for each of these shapes, you need to give me the perimeter and the area. So I should see 2 answers showing me what work you did. So when I did my perimeter and my area, I wrote out what math I was doing. So don't just put an answer, write what math you're doing, either as mental math or on your calculator, write it out. When we look at our first rectangle, we see all 4 sides have numbers to them, so that's easy. But our second one, I only see 2 numbers. There are 4 sides. So in order to find those missing sides, we need to think this through. If these are right angles, that means Because we know if it's a rectangle, it has right angles, that this side and this side are congruent. They are the same measure. And this side and this side are congruent. They are the same measure. So those right angles of the rectangle and square tell us that our sides have to match up. We have to have that congruency. So we don't need to write that number for each side, but we do have to know what it is so we can fill it in, so we can find that perimeter. Make sure you do the bottom two questions. What are the side lengths of the square with a perimeter of 28 and an area of 49? So you need to figure out what those lengths would be to get that perimeter and that area, so you have to think it through. And what are the side lengths of a rectangle with a perimeter of 26 and an area of 36? So those are going to be a little bit more challenging. Really stop and think, what could those lengths be? You might have to do a little bit of guessing and checking, and that is okay. Take your time and make sure you're doing it correctly. I hope you are well, and I hope to see you soon. Have a wonderful day. Do not forget that Khan Academy is due tonight, Thursday night, and you'll get new Khan assigned tomorrow, so make sure you have Khan done for Thursday night, and make sure that you are working on your math packet number 11. So we've got work that we need to do. I will be assigning our next set of Khan Academies today. So the next set of assignments will not be due until next week, Thursday. But in case you are finished with the Khan that is due tonight and you are finished working through, I know at least one of us is finished working through our math packet, you will have something to work on if you are done with your homework for today. So again, I hope you are well. I hope to see you soon. Have a wonderful day.